Now, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and especially ones that cost me years. And if not costing me time, it cost me my health. And so in this video, I will be offering you 7 different rules, 7 different tips for life, so that you can take it away and maybe save a good few years of your life. Save yourself going down the wrong hole. Save your health before it gets worse. The first mistake is never look at something you desire for more than 3 times. This is a direct statement, direct tactic from Iman Gadzhi. Iman Gadzhi is this young self-made millionaire, and you probably know him. If not, he's just this very, very smart child prodigy type of person, right? You can just go look him up. He's very, very famous in the business industry. And essentially, I didn't really get why this statement was used. I never really thought it was applicable. It didn't really take effect. Even though I've tried it 3 or 4 times when I first discovered it, it didn't really work. But now I sort of feel like it's working. Because if you look at something you desire more than 3 times, whether that be a extremely attractive woman or a materialistic object like a fancy Rolls Royce that's in the street, and you're like, oh wow, Rolls Royce, Lamborghini, wow, look at that, look at that. This sort of communicates to your subconscious that you sort of don't deserve it. You don't see these things as normal, basically. And obviously you can notice the car, right? It doesn't have to be completely strict, like, oh, I'm never gonna look at that Lamborghini. No, you can acknowledge it, but just don't look at it multiple times. Oh my god, that's a Lamborghini. It's my favorite type of Lamborghini. Don't go ahead and do that, because this screams to your subconscious that you are not deserving of this. This is not a normal thing in your everyday life. This is a far distant North Star for you to chase. Whereas Iman Gadzhi, young Iman Gadzhi, he would literally never look at a woman more than 3 times. He'd have to decide, right? Either he's going to go and approach or completely cut the woman out of his mind. Because I guess another thing builds with the woman, right? If you look at her more than 3 times, it may actually trigger a whole cycle of you liking this woman. Slowly liking her, and then, oh, I don't like her, and then liking her, and then ultimately 3 months down the line, you're literally obsessing over this girl. The second rule for life is never have any stimulus before bed. So the rule is like 3 hours before bed, you should stop eating, right? At least 3 hours. And 1 hour before bed, no technology, and 1 hour before bed, no work at all. Not to mention all of the Netflix, porn, whatever. You get the gist, right? But I guess one type of stimulus that's allowed before bed, right? Even if it's like super fucking stimulating, it's a war story or something like that, it still puts you to sleep. And that is books. But why should you not have stimulus before bed? Well, let's go over the food first. If you have food right before you sleep, like especially your dinner or something, your carby meal, it will actually significantly reduce your quality of sleep. Because think about it, your body wants to digest that shit, right? But then you've gone to sleep, and then now the food's kind of just stuck there growing mold and shit. It's just there fertilizing. Weird. You have to let your body sort of digest it first, let it go through the stomach. As for the mental stimulation, it's very, very simple explanation. You can literally go find out the effects of mental stimulation before bed by just like going on your phone tonight, like scrolling on TikTok for like literally only 5 minutes, or literally doing nothing for like an hour. Maybe going downstairs, chatting to your mum or some shit, having a nice conversation, spending time with her. And that could be your hour spent doing nothing related to technology. Or you can just do some house chores, like filling up your water bottle. This is what I do, right? Filling up my water bottle, taking my shower, and then I go to sleep. And of course I pray and read the Bible as well. And this just puts you to sleep much, much better. Not to mention with better quality sleep, because your mind's not all over the place. It's not fired up, because your body, realistically, right? This is what's happened to me ages ago. I'm on TikTok, I've been scrolling for ages, it's 1, 2 a.m. My mind's super, super active until literally I'm scrolling, bam, 3 a.m. My mind cannot take it anymore. The stimulation, it's literally gone over the point of stimulation, right? And it's all the way down to fucking exhaustion now. But here's the thing, my body's extremely tired from the day's work, going to the gym, right? And I'm just laying there, all stimulated in the mind. My body wants to sleep, but my mind doesn't shut down. This is basically a form of torture. Now, number 3 is another tip relating to sleep. And this rule is simply at X PM, everything goes down and I start my night routine. So this is the rule of setting a time, for example, 7 p.m. Once it hits 7 p.m., no one can disturb me. No phone calls, no people, no texts, nothing. It has to be your night routine. So I'll just go through my night routine, right? 7 p.m., bam, hits the clock. I take all of the dishes from dinner away to go and wash, fill up my water bottle, feed my rabbit, go take a shower. Then I grab my water bottle, go back upstairs, make a to-do list, and just roam around a little bit on my PC, sort some stuff out in my Notion, add to my habit tracker, like fill it all out and make a description of the day, the best parts of the day, the highlights of the day. And then I go and read my Bible for like two or three pages, pray, and then I go to sleep. And number 4, avoid using plastics. Now this sounds like some hippie shit, right? Avoid the plastics. You gotta get rid of the harmful microplastics in your food. If you touch too much BPA, it's bad for you. There is actually some degree of truth to that. If you just look it up, just like estrogenic materials, BPA, polyester in your clothing, like, you know, the coats and the gym clothing and your plastic water bottle, the plastic plates, the melamine wear for Asians, you know, if you're Asian or if you've ever been at a Chinese restaurant, you'll see that they have like plastic cups and plates and bowls, right? With like a fucking chicken on it or some shit. Chicken, fish, whatever, right? That's called melamine, and that is also a hormone disruptor. Especially for men, this is harmful because it disrupts your healthy, normal production of testosterone. And we know what testosterone does, right? It fuels your ambition, makes you an ambitious man. It makes effort feel good. So the more disciplined you are, the more you feel good. But if you still think this is like hippie shit, just look up some scientific literature, fitness influencers like Jeff Nippard, or like what's his name? The guy with the fucking coconut shoulders, right? The Death Star Delts guy. More Plates, More Dates. That's his name. Look him up. Look at all these people. They all tell you to like, don't use the plastics as much. If you're meal prepping, make sure it's a glass container and the top's plastic. It's fine because it doesn't touch the food. That's literally what they're saying. So don't just take it from me, right? And number 5 is delaying gratification. This is a widespread common theme amongst the whole entire self-improvement industry. But really the only way I think people can begin delaying gratification and enjoying that delayed gratification joy instead of the instant gratification junk food, porn joy. The way people can delay more gratification is simply by experiencing something that gives you that delayed joy, that delayed gratification joy, so hard that you actually feel what it is like to experience that delayed gratification joy. So for example, like doing a dopamine detox, right? You strip down everything, you get rid of the TikToks and the fucking YouTubes, and you literally reset your dopamine receptors and like your level of fun, right? So imagine you just not doing anything for 3 days, literally no stimulus at all. You will literally experience building a business, journaling, reading as so much more fun than when you were addicted to fucking TikTok or whatever, because you reset your level of what is fun. And then you can go and experience 3 hours of hard work, right? You get to work hard, contribute something that's going to ultimately retire your mum, look after like your whole entire family. And doing that for 3 hours, contributing towards that, going downstairs, eating your mum's amazing home cooked meal after 3 hours of working hard, because now you deserve it. The food's going to taste better. And that is the way I believe to convert from instant gratification to delayed gratification. Now, the 5th rule of life is have at least some form of physical activity every week. So the rule is, for me, because I have harsh standards for myself, I like to have a gym 5 or 6 times per week. If I miss a day during the weekdays, so Monday to Friday, I will literally make up for it on the weekends. That's how much of a rule this has been ingrained. Now, at the start, obviously consistency is going to be a bit hard, right? Because at the start, it's going to hurt, and you're not going to know the real joy of working out, and your muscles are going to be sore, and you're going to be like, what the fuck is this? This hurts so bad. I don't want to do it again. But if you stick through that period and maybe go for a month, 2 months, and you start to convert your body, you start to tailor your body towards that soreness, it starts to feel good. The soreness gets related to good things, related to the dopamine, to the relaxation effect you get after a hard workout. Because the first few times you go to the gym, your muscles aren't used to getting sore like this. And you may actually find that the fucking wrapping out the bicep curls, it hurts, but it doesn't feel good. So now the rule is here for beginners is at least 3 times per week. You have to have some type of physical activity. Whether it's walking for 30, 40 minutes straight, that you can count that as your physical activity if you're an extreme beginner, right? Or it's playing football with your friends or whatever. It just has to be some type of physical activity because this resets your brain. Whether you've been working hard, you've been scrolling through TikTok, a bunch of brains now literally fried from TikTok, like fucking 2 hours of TikTok. You go and play football, you go and run, you go to the gym. That refreshes your brain. It feels nice afterwards, especially if you take a cold shower paired with that, but a lot of people won't be doing that. And now last but not least is never criticize, condemn, or complain. This is an extremely good habit to make for your social life. From a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. This is a book you may have heard of, right? It's quite a popular book in socializing. And it's essentially to never hate anyone. It's to never criticize, condemn, or complain. Never ever challenge someone, never enter an argument with someone. From my own experience, you can never really fight fire with fire. If someone's really, really mean towards you or they hate you, it's usually 3 reasons. 1 of 3 reasons, right? It's either they don't understand you, they don't know why you exist, they don't know why you're here, they've never had a true conversation with you. Secondly is they think you're above them and you remind them of what they lack. You remind them of what they should be doing, but instead they go party or whatever. I guess lastly is hate never comes from above. Someone that is superior to you, someone that is above you in money, wealth, whatever game, right? It's usually never from there. Usually hate is always from someone that is slightly below you. And he wants to drag you down so that he can feel good. And so let's say even if you argue with someone and you win the argument, sure, you may have won in front of everyone's faces, everyone that was a part of the argument, you may have won and made your point clear or above them, right? And they may agree with you in the moment to avoid shame from the group or whatever. But ultimately, deep down inside, they may actually resent you. They may not actually convert to your way of thinking. The way you make people think the way you think is by telling them good stories of what happened, being nice to them, helping them out, giving them extreme value, being nice. And then they can trust you and then they can fully take that in. Now, with that being said, if you are interested in a 28 days journey with me on building the best lean, bulky and strong body, bulking up or it's cutting down, if you're interested in anything like that, check the link in the description below. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, bro. In a bit.